Greetings and salutations, Exiles. In this video, we're going to be discussing boss mechanics. And the reason being is I feel that it's an important topic, and I kind of want to broaden some perspective. And as you play different video games, different titles, and you come to realize that there's kind of a balance or a synergy. So there are a couple different ways to deal with boss mechanics. And for example, out here we got a boss, and the only method of dealing with this boss right now is basically through a melee or a ranged format. Like I can only eliminate him through a one adaptation of the game. And a good game normally, like a good RPG, and I realize this isn't an RPG, it's more of a survival, but it shares some parallels with an RPG. And if they could introduce a secondary mechanism, like a trap mechanism that would ultimately you could use to defeat bosses in a certain way, that it would be, those are the type of systems that I would like to see implemented in the game. Not game breakers, but if I could have a snare, use my bow to shoot a snare, and then that would be one version kind of a trap. Or if I could put down a wooden box, place a wooden box with rope, and if I could drag the bat over the wooden box, that would pop open and then create a trap. And so that trap would basically snare the enemy. And so just the continuing evolution or involving of systems that exist, the polishing and the refining of current systems that are already in the game. Not creating additional assets. And the reason why I speak to this is because there are other games like Ark where they just continue to cram new content down your throat, but it's poor quality. It's really not done well, and they do that to kind of to prescribe to the whole eye candy or the immediate need for new things, but it doesn't. It's not quality experience. And so the good stuff is refined, and it's okay to come out with something and then take an objective look at it and come back and visit it later. Like that's okay, that is fine. But the it's that evolution of development and polishing, and making the acknowledgement, that saying like, hey, I realize that after time, the original vision wasn't exactly correct, and I think they've done a good job. Since Robert has taken the lead, and I've kind of mentioned this a few times in my other videos, and I think it's important that we recognize him for his talent and his abilities. That Robert definitely has a skill set in the idea of gameplay. Like he gets it. And he, in some ways, and I think in the community, he's becoming the unsung hero. He's the guy who's fixing the broken product. He wasn't ultimately the producer or the guy who was able to sell the idea, but he's the one that's going to ultimately save it. And and often in history, that is a theme that it's part of that team ideology. Like he's the closer. Robert is becoming the closer in the project, and I don't know if you realize this, but watch some of the streams. We'll go and watch some of the Funcom streams. And a little memory pause there. Some of the Funcom streams, and see what he says, and you'll start to understand it, and then you'll also see that the other YouTubers are kind of on board with my thought process about the contributions that Robert's making. But he's going to be the one to save the game ultimately, because the population dwindle has been pretty significant because they were so long in the process of some of these refinements. But yeah, I know I've kind of drifted from my original discussion piece, and I often, as I always do, and some of these are rehashed ideas. But if this is your first time, kind of stumbling across my YouTube channel, you know, with my 37 subscribers, then you'll kind of understand that it's the evolution of perception. And as always, like and subscribe, and criticism is welcome. Thank you for watching.